Hi Geminis, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits that we're gonna have in August. It looks like we have quite an eventful month ahead of us. We have 2 full moons, which is rare this month, and Venus is gonna be retrograde the entire month, so let's see. I'm gonna start with like the major transits, and then I'm gonna slowly move to like personal planets, okay? So the major thing going on right now is that the nodes of the moon, the north node and the south node, they recently switched signs. They entered Aries and Libra. And the interesting thing is that as soon as they entered Aries and Libra, they started making a square to Pluto, on the 29th degree of Capricorn. This is a very critical energy, so things must have been like tense around this time. Yeah. And Pluto is like a very transformative planet, and so let's see, the nodes are now in your friendship house and romance house, and Pluto is in your 8th house. Yeah, so sharing resources, transformations, sexuality, those matters, and then so your 8th house is making a tense aspect to your friendships and your romance. Yeah. Next, Neptune is retrograding in your what house? 10th house. Ooh, yeah. So Neptune has been in your 10th house for like 12 years now. Yeah, a long time, and it still has like a couple more years in Pisces. Yeah, so it's retrograding currently. Yeah, so your career matters for the past 12 years. It must have been like dissolving boundaries, making you more glamorous. Yeah, Neptune is the planet of glamour. 10th house is like how you appear to the public. Yeah, so you were probably more perceived as more glamorous. Yeah, and also like dreamy. It's been making you dreamy and also creative. Yeah, so those Geminis who are in the creative fields, you can feel the creative energy, inspirational energy from like Neptune, or probably it's been making you more spiritual. But anyway, next is Uranus. Uranus is shaking things up in your 12th house with Jupiter. Yeah, so 12th house is like it's a very hidden, a very private house. It's like unconscious. You might not even know what it's doing in there. So, but like subconsciously, it's making like sudden changes in there. Like, what else? Jupiter is also in there, so it's like a spiritual house. Yeah. So Uranus and Jupiter. How are your dreams? Do you feel like you see a lot of dreams around this time? Because 12th house is also dreams. It rules dreams. How are your sleep patterns? That should be interesting. Like next, Mars is in your 4th house in Virgo most of August, and then it's eventually gonna switch to Libra in your 5th house. But anyway, and Venus is retrograde the entire month. So for Geminis, Leo, that is your 3rd house. Yeah, I'm gonna talk more about that later. And Mercury is in your 4th house all months as well. It's eventually gonna turn retrograde, but I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. And finally, the sun is shining in your 3rd house. Yeah, the Gemini house. So summer is usually a time for you to be like super chatty, be a social butterfly. Yeah, spend time with friends in the neighborhood, because the 3rd house rules the neighborhoods, like the cities and stuff. Yeah, so it's a great time for you guys to like be doing summer stuff. So let's see. On the very first day of August, on August 1st, we have a full moon in Aquarius. So your 9th house and the 3rd house. Yeah, so your neighborhood, siblings, that's where the sun is. And the moon is in your 9th house of philosophy, faraway travels, higher education, religious beliefs. Yeah, so those matters are lit up. And the thing about this full moon is that the luminaries, they make a T-square to Jupiter. Yeah, and Jupiter is in your 12th house. So Jupiter around full moon, when it's involved with the full moon, it can make us quite emotional, because Jupiter makes things big, like yeah, it can go over the top. And so don't be surprised if you're like extra emotional around this full moon. I mean, Geminis, you guys are not very emotional. You're not a very emotional sign, but like around full moons, everybody is emotional. So be patient with yourself and with others. It's gonna last for like 4 or 5 days, okay, plus or minus. Yeah. And so the thing about that full moon is that the moon is loosely conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, like very loosely, barely conjunct, because they're like 11 degrees apart. But Pluto is Pluto, you know, it's a very intense planet. So this full moon has the potential of being like intense emotionally. And also on that day, Mercury and Mars in Virgo are making an opposition to Saturn. Yeah, and Saturn is depression, Mercury is thought, and Mars is like aggression. So we can be like aggressively depressed. I mean, like aggressively pessimistic. That's what I meant. Yeah, yeah. So don't be too moody. Like, or even if you are too moody, like be patient with yourself. Like, take a day off or like rest. Okay. And after that, we're not gonna have much going on in the skies until like August 8th. I mean, it's not really a significant day either. It's the last quarter moon. So the reason why I mentioned the last quarter moon is that it marks the beginning of a week where not much happens. It is a good time to wrap things up. That started with new moon in Cancer in July. Okay. So wrapping things up, getting rest, getting energy for the next new moon on August 16th. Yeah. So also it's a good time to prepare things for that new moon. Like, let me give you an example. Recently, I started collecting documents and stuff during the last quarter moon week, like the week before the new moon. I started collecting the documents and I sent them by mail like a day or two before the new moon. And so by the time it was the new moon, they received the documents. Yeah, so the new thing started. So you get the idea. Don't waste energy trying to start new things like right away. Like, it's a good time to prepare things for the new matters. Okay, I mean for the new things. So on August 13th, the Sun is gonna conjunct Venus in Leo. Okay, on the 20th degree of Leo, in your third house. So it happens once every like 8 years. Okay, so it's a good time to gain an understanding, like gain a clarity in your relations with your siblings, perhaps, because the third house is a house of siblings. It is also like I don't know, like neighbors, I guess, like something about neighbors, an understanding in those matters. Yeah, and also learning maybe. And so when the Venus is retrograde and conjunct the Sun, it means it's like exactly between the Earth and the Sun. So we get the Venus energy like super closely. So it's a good time to review our Venus matters. I mean, whether you realize it or not, it's gonna start a new chapter. So after the Venus and Sun are conjunct, well, like it marks the start of a new chapter for Venus for the next 7 or 8 months. It's gonna be a morning star now. For the past 7 or 8 months, we were able to see Venus in the evening after the sunset. But now we're gonna see her like right before the sunrise, very early in the morning. So yeah. Next, so something important in regards with your siblings. Yeah, like try to observe, try to pay attention. And then on August 16th, we have a new moon in Leo. Yay, again, your third house. So we've got the Sun, the Moon, and Venus in your third house. It should be interesting. And it's like Venus is still close to the Sun as well, so it's a good new moon. What else? So something new regarding your siblings, neighborhoods. I feel like I'm forgetting something about the third house. Communication also, yes. Like communication, self-expression, writing. Can be a good time to write a lot of things. Yeah, so the thing about this new moon is that the luminaries are gonna be making a square to Uranus. So it's gonna, Uranus is surprises. So there might be something surprising or unexpected. And another interesting thing about this new moon day is that other planets are going to be making an interesting aspect. It's called like a kite aspect. So we have Neptune in Pisces. What else? We've got Mercury and Mars in your fourth house. Yeah, in Virgo, they will be making an opposition. And then we've got Uranus and Pluto in Earth signs. And so they will be friendly with both of the signs that are involved in the opposition. They're like friends to those. And so they will be like mediators in that conflict, in that tension. So it should be interesting. So I feel like this new moon, even though it makes like tense aspect to Uranus, it's still gonna bring some good unexpected news, I guess. Yeah, so if you are waiting for like for a decision, for an announcement, you can receive that after August 16th. On August 21st, we have the exact square between Venus and Jupiter. Okay, Venus is in Leo and Jupiter is in Taurus. And so the thing about the square is that both of the planets involved are benefics. So even though they're in like tense aspects, they don't really bring like really horrible events. No. So it can be like you will overspend, you will splurge a little bit maybe, because you will feel a bit too optimistic about finances. Yeah, so but exercise caution. Don't spend too much. Only spend on things that you really need. And since Venus is retrograde, it's not a good time to buy like new clothes. Jesus, like, what is that going on with those trains? I apologize for that. Anyway, on August 23rd, Sun is gonna enter Virgo, your fourth house. So the focus was on your siblings house, communication house, and now it's gonna switch to your family house. Okay, the place where you live at, your family, as I said, your parents, what else, your emotions. Okay, it's like our deep safe part, like I mean private area of our chart. On the same day that Sun enters Virgo, Mercury stations retrograde in Virgo, and Mercury is your ruling planet, so this is important for you. Mercury retrograde time, as you guys know, it's the time of miscommunications, misunderstandings. So mark your calendars, because from August 23rd until September 22nd, there's like high probability of things yeah, not going according to the plan, because Mercury is like disruptions. So those of you who are traveling, the flights might be delayed and stuff, so keep that in mind. Emails, let's say you send an email and you forget to attach the file, something like that. And then like it's not a good time to buy electronics. So if you are thinking of buying a new laptop or something electronic for the next school year, please buy it in early August. Don't wait until like late August to do that. Even if you do have to buy electronics in late August, make sure you buy an insurance for it or keep the receipt. That way if something goes wrong, you can return it and get a new one. Then that will be fine. Yeah, but like Mercury retrograde is famous for misunderstandings. Like last time Mercury was retrograde in May, I had such an embarrassing misunderstanding. Like I was, yeah, I cringed after that. I was like, ugh, like I should have known. But anyway, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't the other person's fault. It was just like, it was inevitable. Like yeah, the way the thing was posted online. Yeah. Anyway, so keep that in mind. Make sure you check twice, read the fine print, and yeah, don't get too frustrated with my misunderstandings, because Mercury does that. And so use that time to reevaluate things. Maybe you will have to go back to something to fix it and then go back to normal. Okay, Mercury does that, and it's important for you because you are ruled by Mercury. And since it's in your fourth house, so maybe something regarding your family life, your house, your home. What else? Yeah, like so family, house. I can't think of anything else. So anyway, on August 27th, Mars is gonna enter Libra until October 12th. So it has been in your fourth house, and honestly, when Mars is in our fourth house, that's where it can give us like conflict inside home. It can be with your family, because sometimes we live with our family, right? And then another times it can give us conflict with our roommates, because we share the place where we live at with them. Yeah, so Mars is aggression, and fourth house is the place where we live at. Now the thing is, Mars is gonna leave that area of your life, so now the home life is gonna be a bit more peaceful. Yeah, and it's gonna enter your house of romances. Yeah, until October 12th. And so October 12th, yeah, and what was I gonna say? So fifth house is like romance, but keep in mind, Venus is retrograde, so August, it's not a good time to start any new romances. No, wait until September to start new things. Okay, next, August 28th, Uranus stations retrograde until January 27th, 2024. I mean, Uranus is a faraway planet. We barely feel it, like it's not a personal planet, and it goes retrograde every year. But the thing about this retrograde is that it joins the other 4 or 5 planets that are already retrograde. So August is gonna feel like slow motion. Yeah, like imagine you're like this deep in water and you try to run. It's exhausting, right? You don't run as fast as you would on dry land. Like yeah, so that's how it's going to feel. The progress is gonna feel super slow. You're gonna feel like you put a lot of effort, but like there's like this much progress. Yeah, so don't get frustrated. When you are aware of this, it's easier to deal with circumstances. Okay, and what else am I forgetting to mention? So yeah, August is not a good time to start new things. It's not a good time to start a new business because Venus is asleep. Yeah, you don't want an invisible Venus, I mean a weak Venus in the DNA of your business. No, because we want to make money with business, right? And Venus rules money, so wait until September or October, ideally October, to start a new business. Yeah. So August, especially late August is a good time to review things, like to look within, gain an understanding, because a lot of those planets are going to be retrograde. Possibly like the things that you started in earlier year, you'll be reevaluating, maybe making some adjustments to those, like tweaking here and there. Yeah, so we'll see. Now, finally, on August 30th, we have the second major event of the month, the second full moon in Pisces. So this full moon is important for you because the luminaries are gonna be in your 4th house and your 10th house. Those are like the spine of your chart. So because the 10th house and the 4th house rules the parents, the mother and the father, and mother and father give us life. They are the most important people in our lives, whether we like to admit it or not. So yeah, 10th house and 4th house are super important. And so when the full moons happen in that area, it is significant. So for Geminis, Pisces is your 10th house, your social status. So some of you might complete a project, an important project in your work, because full moons are fruitions, completion. And so another thing about this full moon is that it's going to be conjunct Saturn in Pisces in the early degrees of Pisces. So it's a pretty tight conjunction. And it's interesting because Pisces is a water sign. It's a very emotional sign. And then Saturn is very dry. It rules Capricorn. So we're going to be very emotional, but at the same time, we're not going to express those emotions because Saturn is restriction. It freezes our emotions. It rules refrigerators. Yeah, so our emotions are gonna feel like frozen. Yeah, so beware of that. Now I got distracted. So your the 10th house, the full moon is in your 10th house, and the sun is in your 4th house. So the luminaries are lighting up those areas. Yeah, so some Geminis, your status might change. Like let's say you decide to break up or get divorced. So that's gonna bring like a completion to your status, right? Especially because like we've got Venus in retrograde all month in August. Yeah, so for some Geminis it might mean that. Yeah, so some culmination, some fruition regarding the social status, career matters. I mentioned the square, the conjunction aspect to Saturn. Yeah, so full moons are always emotional, but in this case, we're gonna kind of like control our emotions or suppress our emotions, or at least feel it within, like inside of us, like instead of expressing your emotion like outwardly. I mean, even if you do cry, you won't cry as much as you would, I guess. But yeah, so be patient with yourself and with others. Full moons are active for like 4 days plus or minus. Okay, so yeah. And this full moon doesn't have as many harsh aspects as the August 1st full moon, so it should be alright. So this is it for the month of August, Geminis. I hope you have a pleasant month. Remember, Venus is going to be retrograde all month in your 3rd house. It's going to be conjunct the Sun in there, so there will be some sort of clarity, some understanding. By the end of the month, we'll have so many planets in retrograde, so be prepared to walk in slow motion, I guess, through life. I mean, you're not going to do that literally, but it's going to feel that way. Yeah, so be aware of that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in September. Bye.